Hello, my name is Jared and you're watching 3D I've got goodies in the mail from Th3D Studios. I'll show you what they are right after my intro. And we're back. Well, I was having trouble with one of my CR10s that I call Blue, an original printer, CR10. I bought it like 3 years ago. I have two, and on one of them I've had trouble with the board on it twice. The screen will start going all haywire crazy. The Z isn't raising on it properly. It's dragging on the print. That happened probably 8 or 9 months ago, and I got a hold of, I think, Tiny Machines, and I got a replacement Creality board. Put in it, it was fine, and then about 2 weeks ago, I was in the living room watching TV, and I heard all this terrible sound. Come in here and look at it. My screen's talking Chinese and blinking on and off, and it's all crazy. Not literally Chinese language. It's just it's all broken up and going crazy. So I stopped the print, and I ordered a Big Tree Tech SKR 1.3 version 2 board. I was checking out Michael from Teaching Tech and Chris from Chris's Basement, their videos on dropping them in Ender 3, and I figured, well, if it'll fit in Ender 3, it'll fit in CR10. Just change the profile for the build size, basically. So I was starting to make a video last week. I put the board in, done a bunch of taping on how I hooked everything up, and I couldn't get the firmware to compile. I was having an issue with the firmware. So I got a hold of a couple of friends of mine on YouTube that work with Marlin a lot more than I do. One man's been doing it for many years, and he was having trouble too through VS Code. He couldn't get it to compile and had different issues. So I finally got frustrated, gave up, got a hold of Th3D Studios, ordered two of their EZBOARD Lite version 1.2 boards, and I've never tried them. They're really killer boards. They're just kind of out of my budget, but I finally invested the money. I had affiliate money with them built up over a long period of time. I used my affiliate money, and I bought two boards, and they came out with goodies, which I gave my wife. I ordered the two boards. I ordered two 4 gig SD cards for the board, and what else? And I got a Smartie and a sticker, and I gave the Smartie and the sticker to my wife. But let me open up the box here and I'll show you what it came. Of course, this is in a bigger box. They're individually wrapped up here in brown paper. Then we've got bubble paper. And the anti-static bag, I've already cut that and I've looked at the boards. So I'm going to give you a close-up here and show it to you. It's their EZBOARD Lite version 1.2. It has 4-layer PCB with 2 ounces of copper on every layer for durability and heat distribution. It has TMC 22-way drivers. It is 32-bit, not 8-bit, like all the printers were coming with in the past. So you're basically future-proofing your printer by putting this board in it. You should never ever have to upgrade. And I do have dual Z's. On Th3D Studios website, I'll show you a picture here in a minute. All the different products you can buy. But I already have my Z split. So I got my X, my Y, and my Z right here in the extruder. And this will be a drop-in replacement. It has a fuse on the board. See if you can get that on the camera and see it. And the other one in the box is exactly identical. I have two CR10s. I'll be replacing both. And it comes with a nice little card talking about if you need help and a thank you card. And on the back of it, it's got different print temperatures for PLA, PETG. And it has about printer maintenance reminders of what to do and what to check. Nice little card to come with it. And then the 4 gig SD card that I got. And I dropped it. Of course I did. There's the second card. And then there were two. So let me jump over to their website and I'll show you the specifics about this board that I have. And then we'll get to installing. And the firmware is going to be super easy to flash on these. Th3D has pre-compiled Marlin that they've modified that you can download examples. I do have a filament runout sensor on both my printers and easy ABLs on both of them, so it's going to be very simple to set up the firmware. And you simply drag and drop it on your computer to the SD card, put it in the printer, turn it back on, it flashes, and you're bam, you're good to go that fast. Alrighty, here's their website at th3dstudios.com. They have all kinds of amazing products. There's a lot of knowledge here. But for this video today, click on Store. Scroll down to the EZBOARD Lite right here. It has a 6-month warranty on it with all US-based tech support if you need it. It's very easy to set up. You can get an add-on micro SD card. It does not come with one. You can buy an add-on. It's a great little 4 gig card. If you have a dual Z setup, you can get the adapter here for it if you don't already have one. There's lots of little extras here you can add on. One thing you must do before you install this, you must read the manual like it says here. You must read the documentation because there are mistakes you can make. You could brick the board, you can screw the board up. So definitely read the information here. The one that I'm glad I read it, because the one problem that I might have had is that on my CR10 board that was in there from Creality, the filament runout sensor connected to the LCD header and the ribbon cable plugged into that. With this board, you do not use that little board. You have to take that off. You plug directly in. So there's a header on the board where you plug in your filament runout sensor. So you definitely need to read the paperwork so you don't make a mistake. Always read the paperwork first. It's very important. And if you want to compile your firmware online, you can do that here. You just click on it. You check a few things off. The cloud will compile it for you. You download it, put it on your SD card, put it in the printer, turn it on. It flashes the firmware that quick. Or if you choose, you can download the firmware, do it on your PC in Visual Code Studio, and you can compile it yourself, put it on your SD card, pop it in the printer, turn it on, and reboot it that way. But it's a very simple, easy job to do. Alright, I fixed my volume problem. I'm talking louder so my boom mic isn't picking me up so well. Anyway, be sure your power is unplugged and it's turned off. I forgot to say that, but I'm sure everybody knows that. Do not have it plugged in while you're working on this board. And when you start disconnecting all the wires, these two wires right here are not marked. You've got your bed and your hot end thermistors right here. So put a clip on the second one close to the side, like a paper clip or something, or a piece of tape, or mark it with a Sharpie. That way you know where that goes in the last spot before you start disconnecting everything. So let me go ahead and pull that one out first. I'm just going to take this big old giant honking clip here, and I'll just clip that on it, keep it out of the way, so I know that goes in last. We can go around the board, and I don't see any hot glue in anything here. Now that pulled the terminal all the way off. Well, anyway, it's not hot glue, but I'm not going to reuse the board, so it's not going to matter. I can always fix it. Carefully wiggle them, pull them out one at a time. stepper motors, your extruder, your X, Y, and Z. Carefully wiggle the plugs loose. Okay, your 2 power wires. And I did not bring a screwdriver over here. Well, that sucks. I'm going to have to grab a screwdriver. Alrighty, I got a screwdriver. Loosen up all your connections here so you can get all the wires out. It's best to take a picture before you take all this apart. As soon as you get your bottom off and the power supplies out of the way, take a picture. So if you ever get lost and you're not sure about something on your power wires here, you can refer to the picture. But always look at the board to see positive and negative, and you can always flip the board over and look at it from the bottom side, and they're going to be listed. You know, which side's positive, which side's negative. They're all loose. And looks like I've got hot glue here for my filament round center. Okay, that's unstuck. And unplug that, set it out of the way. Try to kind of sort of set it out of the way. And we can unscrew the board. Oh, here it is. This is a very simple process. The only thing that's difficult is trying to get your hand down in here and work. That's why I suggest, you see I'm missing a screw somewhere. I suggest you hook up your power wires when you have it suspended. I got that one. I think I'm missing one here and I don't see it. One, two, three. There should be 4. Okay, that one's loose. Oh, here it is. Right there in the corner. And if I'm not talking loud enough, guys, I apologize. I have a lapel mic, but the way I'm currently taping here, it's not through my camcorder. I'm not quite sure where to plug it in at. And there we go, we got the board out. 3 of the 4 screws. Let me grab that 4th one. And that's an original Crowley board, version 1.1.3. This has never left this machine since it's been brand new. Got a nice little heat sinks there and the stepper drivers. And this is a good working board. There's nothing wrong with this board. It's in my other CR10, the one I pulled out when I put the SKR 1.3 v2 in it that had issues, but this is a good board. So I'll put this back in its anti-static bag and I'll mark it good and label what it's for. And as you can see, the positive and negative here going to the board, they are tinned. They're not bare wire, and they don't use ferrule connectors. But in over 3.5 years, it's never had an issue. As you can see, there's nothing wrong with them. I'm going to go ahead and put ferrule connectors over top of them and crimp them down real tight. Let me go ahead and clip off that tinning, and I'll peel it back a little bit and put some connectors on there. So grab our new nice and pretty shiny board, and it's clearly labeled here. Fan 1, fan 2. Fan 2, this is your supply, your case fan goes here. Okay. Let's see, your X stop, your Y, your Z, your bed thermistor, your extruder thermistor, then of course X, Y, Z extruder. Looking the board over, it looks good. And we got our positive on this side and our negative on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and get my screwdriver and open them up. Alrighty, one thing we do not need on this board is on the Creality board, we have this little breakout board here from Th3D to hook up the filament sensor. We do not need that on his board, on the on this EZBOARD Lite. If you hook it up, you will fry your board. So be sure you read all the paperwork first before you install anything. That's very important. Read all the documentation before you install anything. If I can get this unclipped here. There's a spot right on the board where you hook up the filament runout sensor. There we go. Okay, right down here on the board, it's kind of hard to see. It says 5 volt, signal, and ground. So the red would be the 5 volt. Or excuse me, 5 volt, ground, and signal. I got that backwards. And that goes right there. You take the ribbon cable to your LCD and put that right back in where it goes. But be sure you read all documentation before you proceed. That way you don't make a boo-boo and say, oh no, I fried my board, I need another one. It's all right there, just read it. Very bold print. Be sure you read all documentation. And I don't have a ZYLTECH, so now I'm good to go. One thing I'd like to show you, I was shocked at how quiet the steppers are on this printer now. I got this 32-bit board in there. You can hear the fan running obviously, but let me auto home it. That is amazing. One thing I wanted to mention about the 32-bit board from Th3D Studios. On all my printers for the last 3.5 years, I've got filament runout sensors and easy ABLs on all of them. And I've always downloaded their firmware, and I've always made the proper changes, uncommenting and compiling, and had no issues. Now they got the 32-bit board out where you can simply compile everything in the cloud. You don't have to download or install anything. It's very simple and easy. But one problem I had is once it compiled and I downloaded it, I took the bin file, put it on the SD card, put it in the printer. Neither CR10 could read the bin file. It was driving me nuts. So I contacted technical support, and they had me check a few different things. And after trying this for 3 or 4 times, I went ahead and I downloaded the firmware. I compiled it. It worked fine. It wasn't bad SD cards. Why it wasn't working, I don't know. And then I finally tried something. One of the techs had taken the file that I compiled, and they tried it in one of their computers, and it worked fine. So I'm thinking, what's going on here? Where my hobby room is, I'm about 30, 40, 45 feet away from my router that's in another room. My modem is in where my main computer is. And then I got a Cat 5 cord or Cat 6 that runs across the house, through the living room, behind everything. And it comes into this room. It's all hardwired. For some reason, when I downloaded in this room, my hobby room, I seen the file, but it must have been corrupt, or some of it got lost in translation. I don't know. But when I took that file and I put it on the SD card, neither machine could read it. But when I took the same file that I downloaded from my main room where my modem is, it worked fine. So that's probably 1 in a million that would happen. But if you're the 1 in a million, and if you're 1,000,001 that has a problem, you know, one other person somewhere that's watching this video someday, that's what it might be. For some reason, I was too far away from it. So whether you download it from the cloud or compile it yourself, it works great. It was very easy to swap over. You must read the paperwork before you do anything so you don't make a mistake. I almost did. With all my printers, like I mentioned earlier, I have a filament runout center on most of them. And on the board, on the Creality boards, you plug that little daughter board, or whatever you call it. The filament runout center comes on a little board. You plug that into the LCD header, and then a ribbon cable for the LC plugs into that. If you do that on this Th3D board, you could brick your board and screw it up. So definitely read your paperwork. It's very easy to do a swap over. Just read paperwork. Most people build things, and when they have leftover parts or something goes wrong, then they go refer back to the paperwork. Do not do that in this case. Read the paperwork. They got a great product, decent price, and there's lots of add-ons, everything you need, and they get shipping out right away. So please like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Ring that bell so the next time I do a video go live, you're going to come check it out. So thank you very much, and happy printing.